Colin O'Brien, Traveller's Children in London Fields. Published in 2013 by Spitalfields Life. It's 72 pages. It is 6 by 9. On first glance, it just reminded me of a Hoxton mini press style book. It's got that textured front, even though obviously Hoxton's not all textured, it's partially textured. It's just got that format and that similar quality. I actually quite like this as a yellow. And then you've got the back of the dust jacket there. So it's, in fact, I'm going to take that off just for the sake of the book. And in here it's got, these pictures record an extraordinary meeting between a photographer and a group of Irish travellers, children in London Fields in 1987, yet the subject of Colin O'Brien's tender and clear-eyed photographs is no less than the elusive drama of childhood itself. You can get this on Colin's website. Sadly, Colin passed away. You can get one of his other books, or two books as well. One is the booklet which was part of an exhibition which I reviewed in an earlier edition of Camera, and the other book is entitled 65. 65 looks interesting. I may take a look at it. It looks like a little bit of a designer's book. It doesn't feel like an old school photography book. It's supposed to represent the 65 years of him being a photographer, and I presume that a photograph, each photograph represents a year. I need to delve into it. It looks amazing, it looks lovely, and I will maybe have a little look at it, but it doesn't feel like this sort of quality, like looks like a classic photography book, doesn't it? It's lovely, and I do like that format a lot, but you know, we have to, I love the Hoxton press style and this style as well. Anyway, so I'm going to put that there. I'll just put that there because I'm turning to the left. So let's have a look through it, and it's, you know, it's an interesting set of pictures. It's a nice little book, and it's an affordable price. It's a coming together, isn't it, of two entities, of these kids and Colin's travels around London. I came across the travellers whilst I was photographing a deserted warehouse in London Fields. They had parked their caravans in and around Martello Street near the railway arches by the station. This part of Hackney was very run down in the 80s. The streets were littered with rubbish, and many of the decaying Victorian terraces were being demolished. The area was neglected and dangerous, with graffiti everywhere. The Irish travellers were mostly families with 3 or 4 children, and they were living in caravans. So he took the pictures over a series of 3 weeks, and then he returned on the 4th week, and their families had gone. I wonder now, looking back, these kids will all be, you know, grown up. I wonder if they remember this. So some beautiful pictures. The actual quality of the book's really nice. It's worth having in your collection. It's just a nice little get together, really. There's so much innocence and just respect between the both, and I think we lose that a little bit today, don't we? We're almost scared to point a camera in front of a child now, whereas him being in front of these kids, and especially from the community they come from and the area, and it was all done with a just pure investigation. It was just purely Colin asking questions, you know, and that, I think we've lost that a little bit in the world. You know, some gorgeous little shots. I don't like this design. Again, I don't like this sort of small picture. I don't mind it every now and then, but and I get the group shot in a smaller frame. I can see what's happening here, but you know, this is what I want. Look at that. It's gorgeous, isn't it? Great light. I think Colin's one of them photographers who needs one of them big retrospective books, and maybe the 65 book was about that. I haven't looked at it, but I still want a pure photography book. I want to see it as in a pure form, because I know he's got a range of photographs from around Europe and in the UK and stuff like that. He's got some great shots. So breaking this down, there's not a lot of shots in here, is there, if you think about it? And I see why this was published. I get why Spitalfields Live published this, because it's historical, it's about the area. It's a great book and a great way of showing history in the area, and I totally understand the process of why they've got it on the label and stuff like that, and that's great. So even though there's not a massive array of pictures, even though I feel there's nothing earth-shattering in here, there's some beautiful shots like that. But I do see why, and I can see why they published it, and I can see why it's a bit of a historical document as well. And we've charted the East End of London by Homer Sykes, Ian Berry, amongst other photographers as well. So this is a continuation later on in the 80s, and I'm sure Homer was back there and how still moves around them circles and photographs in the areas and stuff like that. But you can see, without these guys in here, in these periods, we would never have a sort of pictorial idea of what went before us, you know. This is lovely. And I think the pictures are quite passive. They're giving the subject some dignity. There's no interaction. There's quite a sort of static approach to them. Not like a Tish Murtha, you know, where she was like in the thick of it, interacting and letting the kids evolve around her photography and let her pictures evolve around the communities and children doing what they do. Whereas this is just a sort of stop and take a sort of passive portrait, which is nice. I mean, there's many different forms of sort of this sort of type of photography, you know, and I think it has its place. And we do need stuff like this for reference and technical reference, contextual reference, whatever you want to look at it. And it actually humanises the travelling community, because with the travelling community have such bad connotations, don't they? They have such negativity surrounding them, and these are lovely. These are really interesting, really nice, and this gives it all a nice positive feel, doesn't it? Yeah, there's some nice shots in here, and I do get it. I do understand it. I do see why they've published this book, and well done. Go and get it. You can get it on Colin's website, as well as getting it on Amazon. But I would say go to Colin's website, Colin O'Brien. I'll put the link in. Have a look at his other work. Have a look at his range of pictures, and have a look and think, should he have a bigger, more focused, photography-based book, which shows the sort of way he communicated with his subject. There's a lovely, tranquil, gentle approach to the way he shoots or shot. Thank you. Subscribe to the channel, share. I hope you like this. I just wanted to give you an insight, a quick insight into this little book, and it's a lovely book. Thank you.